Welcome to Bermuda. Our ship, Norwegian Aqua, has arrived at Royal Naval Dockyard and will be docked here for the next 3 days. During that time, we'll explore the capital, check out the beautiful pink sand beaches, and even head out on a Catamaran cruise for some snorkeling. So join me as I show you the best thing to do here in Bermuda right after this. Good morning, fellow travelers. It's Ken here from Ken Travels 360. Today is day 4 of our 7-day cruise aboard Norwegian Aqua. And after 2 days at sea, we've just docked here at Royal Naval Dockyard in Bermuda. I cannot wait to finally get off the ship and explore this beautiful island. As we'll be docked here for 3 days, we've got plenty of time to explore. This morning, we are going to be taking the free tender shuttle that Norwegian has laid on. It's just over there, which will take us from here to St. George's, the former capital of Bermuda. Looks like lots of people are already down there queuing for the shuttle. Well, welcome to Bermuda. We just got out of the ship. So, this is a Norwegian tender. So we are now on the tender shuttle that is laid on by Norwegians. This is taking us to St. George's, the original capital of Bermuda. Normally, if you take land transport, it will take you well over an hour, probably around 90 minutes to get from the Royal Naval Dockyard to St. George's. So this is really convenient.
Ladies and gentlemen! Welcome to St.
George's! So right now we're here at St. George's Ferry. We're going to walk along Water Street and that will take us to King Square, our first stop. Right away you can see lots of colonial style building with pastel colours. It's so humid here, but after a few minutes walk along Water Street, we have arrived at King Square, the heart of St. George's. This is where public gatherings were held back in the day, and even now it's the perfect spot to get your bearings. On one side of the square, you'll find this town hall, which is still used for meetings today. We're inside the town hall now. And here the walls are lined with portraits of former mayors, and it's free to pop in and have a look. Oh, I love St. George's already. This is so cute. No wonder it's UNESCO World Heritage listed. Well, just a short walk away from King Square is St. Peter's Church, one of the oldest continuously used churches in the entire Western Hemisphere. Parts of it date back over 400 years. Inside, the interior is beautifully simple, and that's what makes it so lovely. These wooden beams are made from Bermuda cedar, which used to be everywhere until a blight wiped out most of them back in the 1940s. The stone font here is over 500 years old, older than Bermuda itself. The churchyard is also fascinating, with graves that tell stories of Bermuda's earliest settlers. Well, just up the hill is one of St. George's most photogenic sites, the unfinished church. This was meant to replace St. Peter's in the late 1800s, but between funding issues and storm damage, construction was abandoned. What's left is a striking ruin surrounded by greenery. It's almost like stepping into a fairy tale. Just a short walk from the unfinished church is the Horsehoe Bay Beach. It's known for its calm, crystal clear water and unique rock formations. Even if you don't have time for a full swim, it's worth just stopping here to dip your toes and enjoy the scenery. Just next to Horsehoe Bay Beach, you have this little slope that you can get up to. From here, you can get amazing view of these jagged rock formations. By the way, Tobacco Bay got its name after some of Bermuda's first settlers were shipwrecked here back in 1609. They found wild tobacco growing in this area, and that's how it got its name. Right, it's time to take NCL's complimentary ferry from St. George's back to Royal Naval Dockyard. It's a really lovely ride back, about 45 minutes or so, and you get some great views of the coastline along the way. I especially enjoyed the approach back to the dockyard. Seeing Norwegian Aqua from the water makes for some great photos of the ship from a different angle. Well, this afternoon after lunch, we're staying close to the ship and exploring the Royal Naval Dockyard itself. Back in the 19th century, this was a key British naval base in the Atlantic. The Royal Navy built massive stone warehouses, fortifications, and a huge keep to protect their fleet here. Today, many of those historic buildings have been restored, and they now house shops, restaurants, and attractions. By the way, you'll see rooster and chicks wandering all over Bermuda. They look cute, but locals say they're actually quite a nuisance because they ruin crops and can't really be eaten safely. The main attraction here is the National Museum of Bermuda. The admission is a bit steep at $18, but it's actually well worth it. The museum is actually inside this huge old fort called the Keep. From the outside, you can really see how solid these walls are. These were built to withstand attacks, and you can just imagine British warships anchored right out here in the harbour. We are just outside the Commissioner's house now. This is so colonial looking. The museum covers a wide range of Bermuda's histories, from its early days of settlement to the era of British naval power, right up to the modern times. Well, there's a display here about the interesting history of the dockyard and the keep. On the upper floor, you can get out to the veranda. There, you can enjoy 360 views of the surroundings. Oh, here's our ship, Norwegian Aqua. Well, here you have the Commissioner's room. Really grand. Well, after checking out the museum, make sure you walk around the rampart and you will see all these cannons. There's all these anchors and bunkers here. Ooh, this is the high cave. Wow. Well, we just got time to check out the high cave. It has a subtitle, Prisoners in Paradise. This might be where prisoners were kept. Oh, it's got air conditioning. We're pretty sure that's not how prisoners were kept in. There were lots of South Africans who were imprisoned here because South African camps were all full up. That was following the Anglo-Boer War. Overall, we enjoyed our visit to National Museum of Bermuda. We actually didn't leave ourselves enough time there. We thought an hour would be plenty, but the site is vast. We didn't even make it to the Queen's Exhibition Hall, which showcases Bermuda's history through shipwrecks artifacts. If you like history, you'll definitely find it interesting. And since it's right next to the cruise pier, it's super easy to visit. But if history is not really your thing and you'd rather just relax, there's a small beach nearby called Snorkel Park. There's a small fee to enter, and we skipped it this time, since we've got an excursion tomorrow to see one of Bermuda's famous pink sand beaches. Before you get back onto your ship, make sure you take a look at the Clock Tower Mall. Even if you're not buying anything, it's fun to wander around. Good morning. It's now day 2 in Bermuda, and today we're heading to one of Bermuda's most famous sites, Horsehoe Bay. It's known for its beautiful pink sand beach, crystal clear water, and dramatic rock formations. We booked an official excursion for our cruise line, but honestly, we probably didn't need to. I'll explain why in a moment. Well, our excursion starts right here at the dock, which makes it really easy. But here's the thing, there are plenty of minivans parked nearby, offering rides directly to Horsehoe Bay for much less money. Plus, if you go that way, you can decide when to head out based on the weather, rather than being locked into a set time like we were. Luckily, the weather is fine now. So we've just arrived. The van has dropped us off by the entrance of Horsehoe Bay. Let's go explore. Oh my god. We've just arrived at Horsehoe Bay Beach and look at that. It's absolutely beautiful, absolutely stunning. The water is so clear and look at the sand. Once you arrive, it's clear why Horsehoe Bay is so famous. The sand here really does have a subtle pink hue, and those dramatic rocks make it one of the most photogenic beaches that I've ever seen. When we first arrived, the beach was surprisingly quiet. It's got loads of lounges and umbrellas for rent, but since our excursion here is only a couple of hours, we didn't think it was worth it. We just laid our towels straight on the sand. Later on, it did get busier. We know that Carnival Sunshine came in this morning, so that probably explains it. Still, it never felt overwhelming. The beach has lifeguards, changing rooms, and even a cafe, so it's got everything you need for a few hours by the sea. Let's go into the water now. Wow! I know it's very subtle, but you can really see the pink color. Oh, the water is so warm and so clear. Oh. At the far end of the beach, there is a little cove surrounded by these amazing rock formations. The water's calm and shallow here, and it's meant to be great for snorkeling, so I'm gonna grab my gear and check it out. Wow, this has been incredible. We've seen so many big fish. Earlier, when I flew the drone, I noticed a spot near the rocks at the main beach that looks perfect for snorkeling. So let's go check it out. There's a cave in here as well. The snorkeling here, I would say, is legendary. This is probably the best snorkeling from the shore, from the beach. Over there, the cove, I got in and people were saying there are some really big bluefish. I look and I found it. And then they were about this big And then I just swam around more and more, and then saw even bigger ones. Afterwards, I went to those rocks, and I swam out a little bit, and then I saw this fish. It's this big. I'm not exaggerating. It's extraordinary, and it's just so beautiful here. If the main beach starts feeling a bit crowded, there's a great little escape just beyond those rocks at the far end. You can walk right along the sand, past those incredible rock formations, and you'll find a series of hidden beaches tucked away behind them. It's much quieter here, with calm little pools and some really unique scenery. A lot of people say this is actually their favorite part of Horsehoe Bay. Peaceful, beautiful, and away from the crowds. By the way, if you got more time than we did, you could visit Gibbs Hill Lighthouse nearby. It's one of Bermuda's most recognizable landmarks, and you can actually see it for miles around along the south shore. It was built back in 1844 and is one of the oldest cast iron lighthouses in the world. You can climb to the 185 steps to the top, and the view is said to be incredible. You can see Horsehoe Bay, Royal Naval Dockyard, and even all the way towards Hamilton. It's definitely worth a stop if you're exploring the island. Well, time passes really quickly. It's now already time to leave and get our transfer back to our ship. Well, we've just got back from our Horsehoe Bay Beach excursion. It was really good. I really enjoy it. I think if we ever come back to Bermuda, definitely need to go to Horsehoe Bay Beach again. Next time, we'll just get one of these minivans instead of an excursion. It's only $7 to get there, and then another $7 to come back. And there are so many of them coming and going. So we just had lunch back on the ship, and now we got change and we're ready for the afternoon's adventure. We are gonna catch the ferry to go to Hamilton, the capital of Bermuda. So we just bought tickets for the ferry. You can get that from the Bermuda Tourist Information Center there. There's a pagoda there. You can pay by credit card, and you will get one of these 14 songs transport token. Right, we're boarding the ferry now. Hello, Hamilton. So the ship has just moved now. You get a really great panoramic view here. There's the clock tower mall, the fort, and then Norwegian Aqua, and the other ship. Well, over there, that pink building is the Hamilton Princess Hotel. It's one of the top hotels here. Earlier, we actually passed through the private beach that the driver pointed out is for guests staying there. Well, it's about a 30-minute boat ride, and already you can see the colorful buildings along the harbor starting to pop up. All those pastel pinks, blues, and yellows. Hamilton is small but full of charm. Welcome to Hamilton. And here we are in Hamilton. This is Front Street, which runs right along the harbor. It's lined with shops, restaurants, and some really colorful pastel colonial style old buildings. Hamilton is really compact. so you can easily see the main sights on foot.
When you are in Hamilton, don't forget to grab a photo or selfie at the Welcome to Bermuda sign. It's such a classic shot and a nice way to mark your arrival in the capital.
Look at the pedestrian lights here. Looks exactly the same as in England. Well, our first stop is the Cathedral of the Most Holy Trinity. This beautiful limestone building is one of Hamilton's most recognizable landmarks. It actually reminds me of the Parliament building at Bridgetown, Barbados. It's very similar limestone buildings with a neo-Gothic design. You know, those pointy arches. It's not surprising given they were both long-time British colonies. For a $5 fee, you can actually climb up the tower here. And the views from the top are supposed to be fantastic. It will be a bit of a workout getting up there, but it will be worth it.
Inside the cathedral is calm and beautifully detailed. You'll see colorful stained glass windows, graceful arches, and an ornate wall behind the altar, decorated with sculptures of Christ and several saints.
And if you enjoy art, the Bermuda National Gallery is right here too, with local and international works. It's actually free admission. Our next stop is Queen Elizabeth Park, which is right in the center of Hamilton. We're actually gonna go in through the entrance on Parlaview Road because it takes you through something pretty special, Bermuda's oldest limestone moongate. You will see many of these moongates all over Bermuda. They are these beautiful circular stone archways, and they were introduced here by British colonists who was inspired by Chinese garden design. And they've since become a symbol of love and good luck. Local tradition says that if a couple walks through together, it brings them happiness and a blessed life. Once you pass through the moongate, follow these mosaic paths through the gardens. There are sculptures scattered around and a koi pond tucked away in a quiet corner. Well, it's time now to return to our ship after a full day of sightseeing. But don't go away just yet, we still got another day of action. If you've been enjoying this video so far, please boop the like button. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I've got a lot more cruising and travel videos coming up, and you won't want to miss out.
We took the ferry to get back to Royal Naval Dockyard. And after a delicious dinner at Katniss Steakhouse, we decided to head out to the panorama deck to check out the sunset view.
We just made it for the Bermudan sunset. This is our last night in Bermuda, and we just caught the end of the sunset, I suppose. Good morning, it's our last day in Bermuda, and today we are gonna be joining a full catamaran cruise along the coastline with crystal clear waters, snorkeling, and the chance to see the island from a completely different perspective. So we're just getting onto the catamaran now. It's right here at the pier just next to the cruise ships, so it's really convenient. We have been really lucky with the weather here in Bermuda. It's been raining and miserable up until when we arrive. Right, this is our catamaran. Yeah, we're on. Well, it's our 9 o'clock and we just set off.
So, freshly welcome aboard the Rising Sun, and also welcome to Bermuda.
So the catamaran has arrived at Deep Bay. This is actually where we're gonna be for the whole morning. You can actually see we are not that far away from our cruise ship. And for snorkeling, they told us best to go near the rocks. Also, there's a beach over there. All right, enough talking. I'll go get changed and get ready to jump into the water. But they said the water is very shallow here and they're not telling lies. The boat itself is not far away. The catamaran is right over there. And that's where the beach is. We are gonna swim nearer the shore and go near the rocks, and hopefully we might see some fish. Oh, the water is really clear here. Well, so far we haven't seen many fish yet. It was definitely more vibrant in Horsehoe Bay Beach yesterday. But there are lots of amazing caves here. We are gonna go inside this cave. Well, this is quite interesting. Just snorkeling into this cave, where it's actually not so deep. I can actually stand here. Okay, I think I've snorkeled enough. Time to get back onto the ship. Okay.
After the snorkeling, there was one more bit of excitement: cliff jumping. Those who wanted to give it a go followed one of the crew members to the rocks, while we were more than happy to stay on board and just watch the action from the boat.
Well, 3 hours passed really quickly. Unfortunately, it's already finished, this cruise. We're now gonna get back onto the ship. Wow, what a fun trip we had. This was a perfect excursion to do on the last day. So that's our 3-day itinerary in Bermuda wrapped up. It's an island full of surprises, from the historic dockyard to the colorful streets of St. George's and those beautiful pink sand beaches. If you've ever been to Bermuda, I would love to hear about your favorite places in the comments below. Well, that's it. It's time to head back to the ship and get ready for the sail away later. Thanks for joining us on this adventure. If you are curious about the ship and the cruise that took us here, watch one of these videos next. See you over there. Happy cruising!